one of the organizations that's doing great things and solving all kinds of problems is nature. And so this is a whole example of how can you go and see what nature is doing and then use the things that exist in the natural world and bring them into your innovation. So let me see if I can get this thing to work. Sharing the screen.
Hi, everyone.
You see it,
Welcome
Julie?
to the fascinating world of innovation inspired by nature. If you like to invent things, you'll probably be interested in this short introduction to inventing with the genius of nature to help you. My name is Sam Steyer, and I direct the Center for Learning with Nature, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the power of nature in helping humans imagine and create a better world. Okay, so what is innovation inspired by nature? Well, inventors like to solve things, right? They like to make things that hopefully help people and the planet. Well, so does nature. Nature has been solving things for a long time too, and has come up with all sorts of elegant, creative ways to do things and do things well. Some of the most famous inventors on the planet figured out that since nature is so good at doing so many things, maybe nature could help them. Inventors like Leonardo da Vinci, Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, the Wright brothers, and Steve Jobs all realized that nature had answers to their questions, solutions to their problems, and could give them fresh ideas that they never would have dreamed of on their own. In fact, you might be surprised to learn that without innovation inspired by nature, these are some of the technologies that wouldn't likely exist today. Innovation inspired by nature is all around us. It's helped make the modern world, well, modern, and it still does today. We hear about innovations inspired by nature in the news every day. Innovations like immunotherapy and machine learning, for instance, are nature-inspired innovations. Scientists are even using nature-inspired innovation to figure out how to deal with the new coronavirus. Many companies and organizations use nature-inspired innovation in their research and development of products and services, and in their day-to-day operations. These companies often couldn't work well, or at all, without these nature-inspired innovations. And colleges and universities today teach their science and engineering undergraduates and graduates using nature-inspired innovation, which is also known as biologically inspired or bio-inspired innovation, or sometimes biomimicry. Personally, what I love about innovation inspired by nature is how cool the inventions are that come out of it. Let me give you a few examples. Designer Toshi Fukaya hated getting thumbtacks out of a box because this would happen. Then one day, while playing with his cat, Toshi got an idea. He noticed that his cat had sharp claws, but that his cat could retract his claws into his paws, so his paws were no longer sharp. Inspired by his cat's clever paws, Toshi went on to reimagine and redesign the thumbtack. Enclosing the tack inside a compressible silicone envelope, Toshi's tacks work just like normal thumbtacks when pressed into a wall, except that when removed from a wall, the silicone resumes its shape, encircling the metal pin and protecting anyone reaching into a box of these from accidentally getting pricked. Humans do a lot of farming. This machinery frequently gets bogged down in mud, making the work more difficult, taking more time, and requiring more fuel and expense. A few years ago, researchers from a university in China wondered how it was that earthworms, after crawling around in the dirt all day, managed to come out of the ground looking completely clean. What they discovered is that earthworms have special self-cleaning skin. At rest, an earthworm's skin has a neutral electric charge, but as soon as it starts moving, the friction of the soil against the earthworm makes its skin take on a negative charge. The positive end of water molecules in the soil thus become attracted to the earthworm, migrating through the soil towards the earthworm as it moves. Cleverly, the motion of the earthworm causes the earth to lubricate its journey, And that means when it emerges from the ground, the earthworm looks completely clean. The researchers wondered if this same idea could be applied to the problem of muddy earth-moving equipment. Here's what the normal unloading of a dump truck looks like, for example. The researchers then applied a small electric charge to the bottom of the dump truck bed. And here's the result. Thanks to an idea from Earthworms, the dump truck pretty much unloaded itself. Using earthworm-inspired electrical currents to clean earth-moving equipment increased the equipment's fuel efficiency by a whopping 12%. Engineers get excited by a 1% improvement in efficiency. A 3% efficiency improvement is considered amazing, so a 12% improvement is truly extraordinary, and with additional optimization, the efficiency could probably be improved further. Dr. Anik Bey wondered how we might improve the efficiency of LED lights. She looked carefully at the abdomen or lantern of fireflies and noticed that the firefly's lantern has triangular, overlapping scales covering its surface. She emulated the general geometry of this pattern in the plastic covering or chassis of an LED light. The result? A 55% improvement in efficiency, meaning one could pump less than half as much electricity into these LEDs and get the same amount of light out of them as before. Nature has many clever ways of saving energy, and some of these ideas can help us also generate energy better. Generating clean energy has become one of the most important challenges facing humankind today, because the polluted byproducts of fossil fuels are harmful to people's lungs and have now begun altering the very climate of our planet in unacceptable ways. One promising form of clean energy comes from the wind. However, a challenge with wind power has to do with the air patterns wind turbines create. Each wind turbine creates turbulence behind it, reducing the efficiency of the other turbines. This is why wind turbines have to be placed far apart from one another, increasing the total area of the Earth required. But then John DeBerry, an engineer, wondered if fish might help us think differently about how we design wind farms. That's because fish often swim close together in tight schools. Part of the reason they do this is because the turbulence created by one fish is used by the next fish to help it swim. In this way, some fish species can actually swim using less energy when they swim in groups than when they swim alone. John reconfigured these arrays of vertical wind turbines to be closer together, based on what he'd learned from schools of fish. The result is an increase in energy output by an astonishing 10 times, or 1,000%. The point is, we already live in a very creative, successful, high-performance world. As inventors, it just makes sense to look to that world for ideas. Innovation inspired by nature is a powerful, effective, and fascinating approach to innovation. Many inventors, teachers, and students have already discovered the fun and utility of looking to the natural world to help inspire new ideas. Want to learn more about innovation inspired by nature and how it can help you become a better inventor or help in the classroom? Check out some of the additional resources on the Center for Learning with Nature's website, and feel free to contact the center with any questions, feedback, or ideas for collaborating. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about nature-inspired innovation. Perhaps the next time you face a challenge or opportunity, you'll first step outside to see how nature would solve it.